Jesus. Oh Lord.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a happy good morning to you, wherever you are. This is a Clara Luper radio show, and today's show is being brought to you by Chances Sardinas, located at 1643 Northeast of 50th Street. The telephone number is 424-4656 or 1211 North Martin Luther King here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. This is the day. Thank God for today. When years would have passed into oblivion, the pages will tell the story of the Fifth Street Baptist Church. 70 years of service and worship, 7 decades of tribulations and trials, dozens of years of prayer brings the Fifth Street family to this season of joy and thanksgiving. Symbolic and significant are these over 70 years of unselfish service rendered to God and humanity by the leaders of the Fifth Street Church. The Fifth Street family is now coming to the 70th anniversary with grateful hearts and souls overflowing with thanksgiving. And no one can have a 70-year celebration without the remembrance of Dr. Wynne. Dr. Wynne's life has been a real romance and well of water, springing up into life to all who have been so fortunate to touch him in experience. We will never know the great multitude of lives that he has awakened to life, inspired to active service, and guided to success as he lived and preached in Oklahoma City, America, and in foreign countries. His sane and sober judgment has influenced many human hearts to be brave in stepping higher. The Fifth Street family should give thanks to God for such a life and commended him for the service rendered to Fifth Street, and in a very tangible way express love and appreciation. The Fifth Street Missionary Baptist Church, located at 801 Northeast of Fifth Street, will observe its 70th anniversary April the 24th and 25th. There will be a banquet held tonight at 7 o'clock in the church's fellowship hall. The ministers and auxiliaries will recognize individuals who have made special contributions to the spiritual growth of the church. But who can celebrate the anniversary without the words of Dr. Wynne? Who can celebrate the 70th anniversary without the memories of Dr. J.H. Wynne, who came to Oklahoma City and served as a pastor of the church. Church at that time had less than 300 members. But by 1945, the membership had grown, and finally to over 1,500 members. Dr. Wynne recommended that an annex and balcony be added to the building. The congregation followed him, accepted his recommendation, and he said that we are going to build on a pay-as-you-go. And this is what he did. No anniversary will be complete without the remembrance of Dr. J.H. Wynne. But on Sunday, April the 25th, the Reverend Jesse Jackson of the East 6th Street Christian Church will be the speaker at 3:30 p.m. There will be music by the Fifth Street's Mass Choir and the East 6th Street Male Chorus. And following that, there will be a reception. But in the minds of those that understand history, they will know that they are there because of the leadership and the dedication of a man that sleeps in yonder's grave, but his memories are so clear. Not only that, there were other ministers, Reverend Bratton, Reverend Flemings, Reverend Elkins, and others that helped to make Fifth Street Baptist Church what it is today. And it's easy to walk in a church now with red wall to wall carpet. It's easy to look at the pews in the buildings and say, "Oh Lord," and praise the Lord. But we must walk in with memories of those people that made it possible. Clara Luper reporting, and that was brought to you by Marilyn Hildreth of Allstate Insurance Company, your independent agent. Located at 730 North Britain Road. The telephone number is 8430811. Marilyn Hildreth will sell you any kind of insurance. If you're talking about life insurance or what have you, you're talking to Marilyn. If you're talking about automobile insurance, home insurance, you're talking to Marilyn. Today's program is going to be very controversial because today we are saluting not only the people at the Fifth Street Baptist Church that's celebrating their 70th anniversary, but all of you out in Radio Land. This has been a trying week for all of us. Never before in the history of this country as we've been so stunned as to what happened in the Mile High City suburbs out in Colorado. And we will be dealing with that as we go into our program. This portion of our program is brought to you by Dr. A.L. Dial, whose office is located at 934 Northeast 8th Street and who is one of Oklahoma's outstanding optometrists. His telephone number is 2350536. That's Dr. A.L. Dial. And you have plenty of time to call next week and get an appointment and go up and see not only about your eyes, but about your children's eyes, your parents' eyes. That's all at 2350536. We cannot erase history. We can try to ignore it, but you cannot ignore history. Abraham Lincoln told us in plain words, you cannot escape history. Dr. A.L. Dow understands history. He understands what it means to suffer for history's sake. Dr. A.L. Dow, just a personal note. We love you and what you have done for all of us. Gideon's 300 store is located at 6006 Southwestern in Oklahoma City. The telephone number is 6320770. You can get all of your African clothes, your African food, your African sculptures and pictures, all at Gideon's 300 store. I have some good news for you. Today is Catfish Day at Freedom Center, and you can buy catfish today. You don't have to talk about what should be done. We're selling catfish. If you want a whole catfish, we have it. If you want a fillet, we have it. We want you. And before I leave off of this air, I want to make sure that I have sold 100 catfish dinners. Clara Luper reporting. Hello?
Hello,
Yes.
I am Freda Mae Stevens,
Yes, Lord.
the 93-year lady. I'm 93 years old. I am a member of Avery Chapel AME Church, a Zeta Phi Beta sorority lady. Do you know in walking at the malls every day, I found out what people are interested in. They are not interested in politics. They're interested in their jobs, their children, especially some of them, and education, and a home. One woman told me I got 3 children, one 16, one 11, one is 7, and their daddy walked off from them for another woman. And this woman is much older than she and her husband. And her children are grown. But my oldest boy is giving me a lot of trouble. The policeman came, bang, bang, bang on my door the other night. He said to me, do you know where, John, I'm not calling it the last name, do you know where your boy is? And she said, no. I am working every day and trying to feed them, and clothe them, and keep a roof over their heads. And she said, the policeman brought her out. They were very rude. You are not even fit to be a mother. She said, I have a low-paying job, and their father, he doesn't give them anything. He is retired and gets a disability check. So just what must I do? I know my boy doesn't like school, at all. And when I looked at her, she was in tears about this boy. And I told her then I was a news reporter of Clara Luper Show every Saturday, 12:20 on the radio, and that is KTLV at 9 o'clock. Other parents are crying too nowadays about their children, and you should have done now is what you should have done earlier. Stay in school, get an education, learn to do something. Thank you. I'm Freddie Mae Stevens.
Thank you so very kindly, Freddie Mae Stevens of the Clara Luper Radio Show. This portion of our program has been brought to you by Freddie Stevenson's Allstate Insurance Agent, Merlin Hildreth, located at 730 North Britton Road, and the telephone number is 843-0811. On last Saturday, 15 representatives from the state to Miss Black Oklahoma committee went to Tulsa, Oklahoma to enjoy and to watch Tulsa select two representatives that will represent Tulsa and Tulsa County in the Miss Black Oklahoma State pageant. A pageant was held in the auditorium of the Oklahoma State University's Center in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it was a complete sellout. Never before in the history of Tulsa has so many people attended a Miss Black Tulsa pageant. The group was very fortunate. It's very fortunate to have one of our outstanding businessmen as one of the sponsors, Mr. Rodell Hornbeek, who drove a 15-passenger van to Tulsa. The representatives from Tulsa, Miss Black Tulsa, is Laura Billingsley. The representative from Tulsa County is Marquita Logan. Tulsa has selected two young ladies to come to Oklahoma City, and then finally on June the 26th to go out to Langston. And Tulsa has more support than you can imagine. They had over 258 ads that were sold for these young ladies. I cannot say too much about the pageant because it was well planned, it was well carried out. The MCs were out of sight. The girls were just beautiful, and any of those 17 girls could have represented not only Tulsa but the state of Oklahoma. Tonight is a night that Langston University will select Miss Black Langston University, and I'm sure that all of you will be going to support Langston University as they select Miss Black Langston. Well, today is catfish dinner day at Freedom Center, and Calvin, I've got to sell 100 catfish dinners, and I know my children out there, my friends, I know all of you are going to support me today. The address is 2609 North Martin Luther King, and that catfish dinner, that catfish is so delicious that if you are married, it'll make you kiss your mother-in-law. That catfish is so brown, if you're having any kind of trouble, you can go and get you some catfish. Yes. Yes, Calvin, you're laughing. You need some catfish.
Mom, you're absolutely right, but this is such a blessed day, and it's such an honor to be here and to be a part of the Clara Luper Radio Show on a beautiful Saturday morning like this. And like you say, this is a catfish type Saturday morning, and I'm looking forward to going up to the Freedom Center immediately after the show and being a part of helping the NACP Youth Council get itself together to get ready to not only go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, but to go to New York City.
To participate in the AXO program.
That's right. That's
and
what
it's
it's all
AXO
about.
Talking Time.
It's AXO Talking Time. That AXO program is a fantastic development that the NACP as a adult branch and the NACP youth councils have gotten together, and I think the AXO program has been in existence now about 9 years.
No, Calvin, over 18
years. 18 years. Okay, well, you don't have to say it like that, Mom. Just because it's a beautiful day.
I just want you to know your
my
history.
Goodness, I got my history down, and I know that the NACP has the AXO program where young people can deal with these the academics of the mind and not only have to not worry about their physical powers and how far they can throw a football, how fast they can dribble a basketball, or how far they can kick a soccer ball, but there they can be challenged and participate with other people, other young people who are concerned about developing their minds and going on and maybe possibly coming up but as we often say, the cure for cancer. And who knows, it may be right here in the minds of some of the young people that we work with in the NACP Youth Council. But I'm looking forward to New York City. I'm looking forward to Albuquerque. But I'm really looking forward to today at the Freedom Center, 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue, where Allstate Insurance, I was already called, placed their orders, want their dinners ready promptly before they close because they want to be sitting out there at 730 West Britain Road enjoying that great catfish dinner that only CP himself can put it together. You know, and it's a group effort. There's going to be with the catfish dinners and the desserts and the
That
potato salads.
Mrs.
And
Maxine Stale is cooking some desserts
oh
at
my
out of
goodness,
sight.
coconut cream pie special.
Oh my gracious! To go
And
with
it's a
that. And
beautiful day
Mrs.
for it,
Gloria
too.
Matthews, the queen of entertainment, because last week she gave a big party for her granddaughter and it was out of sight. But today, Mrs. Gloria Matthews is supporting the catfish dinner. And let me tell you,
424.
I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Mrs.
Secret,
Bosie,
Nemo.
Mrs. Bosie Walker is fixing a dessert today.
Mrs. Walker's fixing
Miss
the
Bosie
dessert.
Walker. I
Hey,
need
but
not
you know
to-
what we could do? You can call up to the Freedom Center and you can place your order.
424-2384. Not only that Nancy Davis is baking a cake, and when Nancy bakes a cake, that cake can make you sing.
It's one of them
And
Oklahoma State University cakes.
Oklahoma State University. But Rosetta Coleman is the cake cook.
Uh-oh.
Okay, now what I want you to do today, we've got to sell 100 orders of catfish. Now, you say to me, Clara, why do you work for these kids? Well, fortunately, God has blessed us. He's given us the energy to work with kids that many people do not see. Kids that want to go places, kids that want to see things, but they just don't have the money. But you have it out there. And I'm calling upon you today to invest in your children. Well, on last Monday night, Calvin, it was quite interesting at Freedom
It
Center.
certainly was.
We had a memorial
It
service
certainly was.
in memory of those 168 people that died on April the 19th. It was a service where we got around the wall where we have the names of those 168 people and the ages. And we use that as a teaching and a place for remembrance because bullets, bombs have no discrimination regardless of race, creed, religion, or what have you. And those young people sat there last Monday night and rededicated themselves to the principles of nonviolence. Nonviolence that was advocated not only by Martin Luther King, but by the great teacher who said, "He that fights with the sword shall die with the sword." But Calvin, the highlight was when the members of the NACP Youth Council and advisors began to relate where they were on April the 19th. And then the highlight was an address by Deacon Berlin Nero, who delivered the memorial address last week at Freedom Center.
Is that's my Berlin Nero? That's Berlin.
He was not
Tinkerfield?
singing. He was not singing.
No, I know that.
He
I
was
know he can't
speaking, and he
sing. That's
did
why
a
he's part of our
terrific
group,
job
you
in reminding our people of the value of nonviolence.
know. Well, you know, Monday night at the NACP Youth Council meetings, every Monday night at 7 p.m. there at the Freedom Center, the young people and the advisors have an opportunity to interact and to react with each other on whatever events are happening or whatever things are going on in their schools or on their jobs. And, you know, it's such a relaxing atmosphere, and it's so encouraging to see a young man like Alexander. You see how Alexander...
And Coco, our news reporter. Our news
reporter,
I just
Coco.
look forward to her making her report every Monday night.
Right, and then see how they've grown and how they're learning to articulate, how they come in motivated to continue with their education. Because not only do we talk about current events at the NACP Youth Council meetings, but we talk about the things that can make you a stronger person. Or if you're having problems in your math or your English class or any class you may be having, you have advisors that are there that are willing, that are anxious to help you. You know, so the NACP Youth Council is a growing place, and I invite those of you out there that are listening this beautiful morning to come by the Freedom Center, not only for your catfish dinner today, but to come by there on a Monday night and to be a part of the Youth Council. You'll see, and that way you'll understand better how we are helping and how we can help our young people and our mature people to be much better people.
And if you don't like catfish, you can leave your donation there.
But
We
I
are
love
preparing
catfish,
that.
Mom.
But some people don't like catfish, and therefore they can do something else.
Fillet,
I'm
golden
so
brown
happy today that
catfish.
Mrs. Smiley will be there. Mrs. Ira Holmes has been working on catfish, and she's ready. Theresa Scruggs will be there. Our own Mr. Mitchell, who's one of the sit-inners, and I never shall forget his experiences. Well, anyway, let's see who else will be calling me, telling me they are with me all the way. You
All
have
the way.
done
You
it.
have 99 more dinners to
No, I
sell.
don't have 99 more
Yeah,
dinners. I
well,
told
I know you
Mrs.
buying one.
Smiley is coming up for
Okay,
2
that's
dinners.
99 left.
Ira Holmes
That's
says she
98
wanted
left.
5. Teresa Scruggs is have 5.
97. You moving
William
on
Mitchell.
down
I'm
now.
going to move on down, and there are a lot of people that will be
2609
working.
North Martin Luther King at the Freedom
Let
Center.
me tell you, those of you that call up here, be sure and tell what team you're supporting today. Nancy Davis is selling catfish. Letty Ruth Hunter, Merlin Hildred, Burley and Nero, Rosetta Coleman, Maxine Stale, Calvin Luper. Yes,
Okay,
Calvin, you're selling
yes.
catfish. The president, Elgina Sadbury. The vice president, Deneen Watkins. Celeste Mallory. The financial advisor, the beautiful Mrs. Bosie Walker. Mrs. Rosetta Coleman. Mrs. Let's see, who else? Who else? Mrs. Stone. Mrs. Little John. Oh, they all selling catfish, and just call and see what you're doing.
Well, Mom, we are looking forward to what's going to be happening at the Freedom Center in very few minutes. Matter of fact, I know the grease is getting hot and the cakes
And
are
CP is
arriving,
ready,
and the
yes,
beans
and
are coming on
and
in.
those good
The
old
bread being toasted.
Rodale Hornbeak
That's
is making
Rodale Hornbeck.
Rodale.
Rodale Hornbeck.
Okay.
Top salesman with Advanced Motors down there in
And
Guthrie,
he can
Oklahoma.
sell you a car before you can turn around.
And a good car.
But he has fallen in love with Freedom Center because he has seen, he's been there, he has observed what is happening there. And Calvin, now we come to a very serious part of our program. And I would like to thank you young people that's not thinking about violence. I would like to salute you who are talking about love in place of violence. And what has happened out in Colorado could happen anywhere, but thank God our young people are not thinking about violence. We aren't thinking about killing each other. And it's a tragedy when you go to school to learn, to find answers to some of the problems that face us. And then some people that don't care about life come in to destroy life. Our program this morning will be, what do you think we can do that can put love in the hearts of all of our people and our young people? Who ever heard of young people 17 and 18 years old that want to kill their classmates and kill people because they are a different race or because they play a different sports or because they just hate? Who ever heard of it? Well, we've heard of it this year. And I think today, each one of us should make a commitment to talk about love rather than hate.
Mom, but no matter what we talk about, and looking back at the events of this past week, it's still difficult. It doesn't sit well with me as to how these young people could have gotten involved in the type things that they did, and how they were able to bring all that ordinance in the school building, and how they were able to bring all that hatred around with them. Here they are, young people that supposedly, I know if they were in the area, if they had gone to Douglas High School, they would have been really in the top of their peer group. There they are with a new BMW. There they are with a massive allowance. And these young people are unhappy. And when we know people, and I know people, who don't have a BMW, who don't have that heavy allowance, but they don't have that hatred either. So I'm just still confused as to what we as a group of people, even as individuals, can do. I've listened to a lot of the news reporters and a lot of the churches and a lot of the ministers and a lot of people commenting on how we need to go back and help the kids. But these young men, this is some hatred that we should have recognized a long time ago.
But we've got to realize that there are some things that we have not done in our school. For example, we have kicked prayer out. But it was some praying in that school in Colorado this week.
You're absolutely
and
right.
then you heard the old song, Amazing Grace, How Sweet It Sound. Well, in the first place, what we've got to do today, we've got to not only talk about love, we're going to have to show love. And I cannot believe, I know.
Those kids, they had an opportunity. They've seen love. We've all tried to, I'm certain that their parents, with that type of
I'm not
allowance,
certain about the parents.
The parents, somebody
Calvin,
was
just a
trying to
minute.
show them love.
Just
Mom.
a minute.
But then
Okay.
I look back at I remember John Marshall days when you were teaching, and Douglas days, and And the little highlights of fights that we used to have in high school, they were kind of fights, but it was nothing compared to today's fight. Now you don't do it with your fist; you got to have a gun.
No, you don't have to have a
I
gun.
don't
Calvin, we have
understand that.
somebody on there. Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Luper.
Yes.
This is your friend, Nancy Davis. I am interested in telling these young people that we must work together, get busy, stay involved, and we want them to make sure for them to attend the Soul Bazaar fashion show, the Soul Bazaar period. Soul Bazaar 1999, where we are presenting people in business and people who are doing things. We want these young people and everybody to get acquainted with our black businesses and with business products that will be displayed at the Soul Bazaar. These young people will have a chance to display their talent, and they will be able to really show themselves as having good potentials. We want them to develop self-concept, self-assurance. We want them to develop physical, spiritual, and mental growth because this is necessary for our society. I am saying be sure to come to the Soul Bazaar on May the 14th and 15th at the Myriad Convention Center. We have young ladies and young men who are running for Mr. and Miss Soul Bazaar. I will tell you more about these young people next week, but we have a lots of good talent from our churches, talent from our senior citizens, talent in tumbling, dancing, and the Soul Bazaar fashion show that will be presented by Nancy Davis will be one of the best. It is an annual fashion show, and we will be crowning the Miss Soul Bazaar for 1999 and Mr. Soul Bazaar for 1999. We would like for everybody to come out. Be sure to come out because we have good talent. These children will develop their poise, personality, and they are ready to go. So don't forget to come to the 1999 Soul Bazaar Fashion Show.
Nancy,
We
I
will
didn't
be
think she was
looking
going to
for
take.
you there.
Auntie, how you doing this
May
morning?
14th and
She's
15th
not-
at the Myriad Convention Center.
Okay.
Be sure to come out. Thank you.
Wait a
Wait, don't
minute.
go, don't go. We
Wait.
got something we want to talk with you about.
We
You-
want you to speak on behalf of Catfish.
You want me to do what?
Speak on behalf of Catfish and the Catfish dinners today.
I wanna
the
know more about a
Catfish
fashion
Dinner
show, too.
Today at the Freedom Center. Be sure to come and get your good old hot catfish dinner. You can get your catfish dinner at a very reasonable price. Only $5, and you will have all the good food with the catfish, and that catfish is the best.
What about that
Come
cake
and
you're
taste
cooking?
the CP Wilson catfish. It is the best. Our young people are getting ready to go to the national convention, and we want to raise money, and we need your help. So come out and help us. We need you. I'm sure that we will have over 100 people coming in, and Mrs. Luper, I will be buying 5 dinners before I go to Langston University.
Well, you'll be
for
a
the
judge
pageant
tonight.
tonight.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the pageant at Langston University of Miss Black Langston University will be tonight at Langston University, and there are lots of beautiful girls that will be trying out for this pageant.
Well, Mrs. Davis, do you have any friends that you think can call in here and tell me that they're going to buy some catfish because of the respect that they have for you?
Well, since I have been on the go this week, I have not been able to contact lots of people, but I'm
You
sure
can
that you'll
contact them
help.
now. Well, why don't you tell your students?
Well,
Compare your
Auntie,
students
when
with
you-
my students.
When you get through telling them, I have something I want to ask you about about the Soul Bazaar and that fashion show that you've had. That's an
What you
annual
wanna
part of the
ask her?
Soul
You
Bazaar.
wanna
I want
ask
to know
her?
the names of the models, some of those
Well, you
beautiful
can't
models.
get that today.
That-
Calvin, that's not what you want.
that
You want
is
to
what I
ask
wanna know
her
most.
if your group can sing, can perform at the.
Doing a fashion show.
yes.
Now she has to. We have to. I don't know. Nancy, Mrs. Davis. Hello.
Miss Davis gone.
She's gone.
didn't
She don't
want
want that.
But I tell you one
She's
thing.
missing an opportunity.
I tell
Berlin,
you
heard
one
that,
somebody
didn't
that's selling catfish dinners today, and that's Robert Gates of the Gates Barbershop,
Deacon
located
Gates.
at 2609 North Martin
That's our
Luther
reporter,
King.
Gates.
Gates Barbershop, where you can get that hair cut and you can look good when you go over to get your catfish dinner. What are you going to do first? Are you going to go over and get your hair cut first, or are you going to eat catfish? Well, you can do a combination of both of them. Gates Barbershop, located at 2609 North Martin Luther King. Miss
Okay, what we can do is this. We can sit down and we can talk to our kids and let them know what all is out there and what all we can do. Okay, and what some of the parishes are not doing, like the kids get to school and the teacher fuss them out about acting up, and when they get home they change it around and tell their parents one thing, then the parents come up there and cussing their teachers. The teachers is going through a lot up there. What we have to do, we have to band together and help the teachers, do our parts. When I was going to school, if you did something at school, when you got home, you got it.
You're right about that.
And when you go back to school, and all the teacher got to do is say, "Won't you sit down there and do your work?" You sit down there and do your work. Get through doing your work. When I was going to school, I did what I could in school, kept doing what I could, and didn't mind it. And when I got out of school, I was one of them slow learners. But
How
now,
slow were you,
You know,
Charles?
I'm proud of the slow learners.
Slow
I'm
learners.
proud of because
Well,
I
there's
want
That's a group
to.
of us. That's a group
I'm
of
a slow learner.
learners.
When I got out of school, they said I would never amount to nothing. I wouldn't have nothing. But thank God I got something.
Well, tell me what you have, honey.
I have a house and I have property.
A slow learner.
And a slow learner. They say, well, you won't have nothing, you won't get nothing. So I'm one of them slow learners. I got land, I got everything I want, thank God. And
Thank
still
God.
trying to get houses.
All right. Well, go on, go on, go
Well, that's
on.
encouraging,
Like
Charles.
the white man always say, them blacks never have nothing, never be nothing. This is one black man got something.
Well, go on,
You
go
go
on.
ahead.
And I'm
go
going to keep going. I'm going to show the white man he's alive.
And then show the black people, too.
And
And
show the
you-
black
what
people,
you're
the
doing,
ones
too,
that's
you're showing
doing
the
all the
students.
talk with the white folks, they are lying. All of them is lying.
No, not all the white folks. Now, wait a minute here.
No,
Don't
I'm
you
not
talk
saying
about
all the white folks
Okay,
is lying.
just
I'm
talk
saying
about
some of them.
a few.
So a
some-
few of
some,
them, yeah,
right.
right, a few of
Okay.
them.
Now,
I know some black folk that tell some good, pretty good waffles.
Yeah, I know, a lot of them.
They be convincing you that you're not gonna be nothing, that you're not gonna do nothing. And it's sort of like that snake that Mom was talking about last week on the
Uh-huh.
Clara Luper radio show. Here when she was describing how that snake told Eve to do something, and then when it come time to fess up, that snake was long gone. I don't know if
Right.
it was a black snake, white snake, or red snake.
Right.
But that snake did his damage and went on about his business.
Uh-huh.
And that's what is happening all around us now, Charles.
Right,
And thank you
right.
so much for being a part of the show.
no, I'll
You
see
know.
you today. How many catfish dinners are you coming up there and get today?
I'm going to come up there and get to it, and the ones I know, I'm going to tell them about it, too.
And they will all go on under the name of who?
Seth McCauley.
Okay. No, I'm talking about Clara Luper.
Oh, okay.
See, you're not too slow, you know.
He's not too slow. He's smart.
That's
You're
one
right.
thing about it.
And I call the names of all those people that would be selling
Yeah.
catfish up there. I told you about Mr. Robert Gates of Gates Barbershop, Nancy Davis, Lady Ruth Hunter, Bosie Walker, Gloria Matthews, Wilma Ray. Oh, Wilma Ray is baking a cake that's out of sight.
I
And
know
when you
what
come up
you-
there, though, all of you that come up there, I've called the names of the people that are selling catfish, and we are all, naturally, we are all in competition all the time. And thank you for making me a continuous winner. And I would
Okay.
like for one of them to beat me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine for a minute more people coming up there
Mom, you
looking
just have
for
96.
Cal?
You have 96
And
more dinners to go. You
I
got
don't
some,
have no 96 more.
Well, like, I'm
It-
counting.
just
You
don't-
said 4. Charles
No,
said.
no, I have more
Well,
than that.
you
We'll
have
see.
4. But,
I
Mom,
will
you know,
have my 100.
back to solving the problems that we're facing
Okay,
in
but he has
Colorado.
given us some good reasons. He has given us some good reason, and we have somebody else on the line. Thank you so much for calling on the Clara Luper radio show. Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I think the problem with the children is, number one, is the parents. You're supposed to know where your children are all the time. I am a retired teacher. I have a 15-year-old son that attends Douglas High School, and I'm up there a lot to see what goes on. A lot of kids come home with lies. Now, I grant you there are teachers that are not doing their jobs, but there are also parents not doing their jobs because they have no idea what their children are doing. If you go in the hall, all you hear is cussing. But Dr. Cole is a very good principal. She's a white lady that you would think is black because she makes sure those kids walk the line. And she has a good staff, Everybody there is not the best. But the principals, vice principals, and the councils, they work with those children. But they asked me to be the PTA president for next year because I'm up there volunteering and I see what goes on. And if a parent wants to know what's going on in the school, stop talking about the school.
That's right.
Just go up there and see what they are doing, the kids are doing in school. Because you know when your kids leave you, they curse, they do whatever they want to.
Well, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, and I've been
I
at
was a
Douglas High
child.
School myself, and you know, I've seen the halls, and I thought they were pretty orderly when I was there. You know,
At Douglas
at
High
Douglas,
School,
I love
they
that
are.
atmosphere still.
Because, what I'm saying,
Uh-huh.
the teachers, some of the teachers, they have men, they have a lot of men, black strong men, that are watching the doors, that are in the halls, but also their children always try to outfox them.
Well, don't we all?
But one thing about it, when at Dungey School, I would just have to salute Reverend Walker and some of the ministers out there. They used to come up to the school to see about the people,
Yeah.
the students.
They've had that at Douglas this year, thank God.
They have ministers that come up to the school.
Yeah.
We have ministers at Dungey and John Marshall that would come up and have lunch with the kids. I think that the parents, we all must be parents of all of the kids.
We
because
have to be.
some kids aren't fortunate enough to have parents like you.
No.
And therefore, we must take on that responsibility. One thing I loved about school was the fact that we had homerooms,
That's it. And
where in homerooms, each child knew that they had a mother or a father at school.
That's
And
right.
you could just mention the name of Mr. Alexander Jones,
Yeah.
and those children would jump up and do exactly what was right.
But, you know,
That-
I'm just saying that a lot of people talk about Douglas High School. Oh, that's a bad school.
It's
Well,
our Trojans.
Trojans, kids are going to be kids. And when you take kids and just throw them in a school, and that's exactly what they're doing. They have all these magnet schools going. And the rest of the kids that they slow or cause problems, they throw them at these schools, at Douglas High School. Now, what can you do when you have a lot more children outweighing the help you have? That is the problem today, and it's going to be a problem until these parents get off of their selves and go and see what's going on.
Well, one thing about
Tell
it,
them Trojans.
with the deaths that we have seen, I think the responsibility must also rest on the kids themselves.
It does, Miss Luper.
And I
They
think
come from where?
it doesn't make any difference whether they're out in the suburbs or the
They
slums
come
or
from the
what have
parents,
you.
what I'm saying.
But I'm saying that a lot of kids that don't have parents. And then the teachers, the churches, the friends must become parents.
Well, that's right. And I tell you, last night at our church, you were there at E6th Street. You had a group of kids there. We had a few there. But those kids were interested in God because the parents.
Well, we're going to have to go out and get more kids. We're going to have to go out. Well, anyway, thank you so much for calling, and I'll see you. You coming up and eat some catfish today with me?
I will try.
Okay.
And thank you for what you're doing at Douglas High School. You know,
And
that
thank you
is
for
our
what you're
school,
doing
you
at
know.
E6 Christian Church.
And throughout the community, you just keep it up, girl.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Well, anyway, we can no longer go and shout in church and ignore what's happening in the community because we can move to the suburbs, but if we move with hatred in our hearts, it will come out as we saw in Colorado.
You know, Mom, they're making a big issue of the dress and the way these kids are dressed, but I'm looking back at the Great Oklahoma State Fair, you know, where the CP Catfish booth, and
Okay.
the people that we
Okay.
used to meet there. And there were lots of people that I met with spiked hair and multicolored hair and all these supposedly tattoos and balls
we got
in
to
their
love
tongue
them
and
anyhow.
stuff.
Calvin,
You know,
we
but
have
they were some sort of righteous kids. But then this is such a challenge to us all to do something, to make a difference, and not only in our homes, not only in our school, not only in our churches, but everywhere we go. We got to start making a big difference in the young people's lives and our own lives, really, to show them the light.
Okay.
You know? But
Hello.
we have a caller, don't you?
Hello?
Did we?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, that's
Good
wonderful.
morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
This is Coco Thomas, your fantastic reporter. Today at Freedom Center at 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock, there will be fish dinners sold. Fish dinners are $5 each. There will be desserts, and I am selling pies for $1
Okay.
and $1 only. Freedom Center is located at 2609 North Martin Luther King. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And also, we want to remember those who got killed in the Littleton, Colorado school, and remember the families. This is Coco Thomas, your fantastic reporter.
Just a minute, Coco.
Yes, we got
Somebody
some
want
questions
to
there,
know,
girl.
somebody
We
want to
got
know
some
what kind of
questions.
pies are you selling?
Especially
I'm selling potato pie
potato. What is that all?
and lemon
And lemon. And what else, Coco?
apple
And apple.
and coconut cream.
All right, that's the one I was waiting to hear. That coconut cream pie that Miss Stell or Coco. I don't know where that pie come from. That's the best
Do you have
pie
any
ever,
friends
you
out
know?
there that's going to come up there today and buy?
Save me a pie. I got a.
do.
You do have some friends that's coming up there and buy because of Coco Thomas.
Yes.
Okay, are you going to New York City?
Yes, I am.
You're going to New York City to the NACB convention.
Yes.
Didn't I see you in Atlanta, Georgia last year?
Yes, you did.
And what other conventions have you been to?
I have been to Minneapolis.
Yes.
Chicago.
Go, girl, go. And you're
Coco.
going to New York City.
Yes, I am.
Coco, I have one question I'd like to ask you. You know, last weekend this time we were getting ready to go to the Miss Black Tulsa pageant. What was your opinion of the, how did you enjoy the Miss Black Tulsa pageant on last weekend that was held? What
I
was your,
enjoyed it very much, but it was a long pageant.
it was,
It
and the
was a
highlight
good
of
pageant.
it, the highlight of it that you liked best, what was the part of it you liked best? The
I like
pages,
the talent.
the talent?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think those pages can outpage you?
No, I do not.
Okay. Okay, Coco. You
That's
take your
Coco
pies
Thomas.
on up there, and I'm going to see you when come up there and buy some pies. from
I know.
Coco.
You better hold me a coconut cream pie. That's the best tasting pie ever. And you know, Monday night, Coco and Mrs. Stelling had some pies there at the center. I walked in the meeting, and Berlin Nero had a coconut cream pie, and Merlin, and they only had one left. I said, Miss Stell, Coco, don't you all ever do that. Don't you know I want
Well,
at least
you know,
one, two pies. You know?
Coco is in charge of the
Cans.
aluminum cans. Coco? Oh, Coco is gone. Well, anyway,
She's
Coco,
gone all the way up to
those of you
Freedom
that
City.
have some cans, be sure to bring some aluminum
But
cans.
we have
up
another
there.
caller on the
Okay,
line. I'm looking
Clara
forward to that.
Luper. Hello?
Good morning, Mrs. Luper.
Good
and
morning.
hello to the persons who are listening to the radio today.
Well, they are listening all over the state.
Well, I'm sure they are. Well, I want to congratulate Coco on her announcement. She told us to come get some fish dinners, and one lady called and said, I have 4 fish dinners. I said, well, all you have to do is call up there. And she said, but they have to be delivered. And I said, they will deliver them. So they are in the process of buying fish dinners, and so I want you to get up there because if this lady has 4 already, you can see about how fast they're going to go. But I want to talk to Mr. McCullough that called in a few minutes ago.
Right.
They say that the parents are not teaching the children at home. But I'm just wondering how many of us, Clara, did your parents teach you at home or did your teachers teach you at school? Which place were you taught?
My parents taught me at home. My grandparents taught me at home, and my friends down in Hoffman, Oklahoma.
Your neighbors taught you.
My neighbors taught me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you the method of mine. My parents had us to learn, to practice, and they helped us with our homework. However, we were taught from the time that we were born up until we were school age, 6 years old. Then we went to school. They expected the teachers to teach us our ABCs. They teach us our nouns, our pronouns, our verbs, our adjectives, and our conjunctions. They didn't expect the parents to teach us that because they expected the teachers to do that. And if the teachers gave us some homework, then our parents saw to it that we got the homework out. And, you know, I taught for 42 years in the classroom, and I taught grades from 1 through 12. And I have experienced all of those subjects. And surprisingly, I have to tell you, I had no problems with my children learning.
Well, how about,
And I had no problem.
how about with the discipline of your children?
Well, I did my own discipline. My principal always said, Miss Hunter, why do you don't send kids to the office? I said, I don't have a problem to send them to the office. And then one thing about it, if you start off with those kids correctly, you won't have any problems with them as far as learning and wanting to learn is concerned. But you can't go in there smiling with them, joking with them, laughing with them, And then when you say, come on, let's work, they want to talk and joke, and your joking and talking time is over. You can't do that.
But
And then I feel,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and then I feel that he said the parents ought to teach them at home. And when I was teaching, I welcome the parents to come to school. I welcome the parents. I wanted the parents. I would send notes home and say, tell your parents to come to school. I want to talk with them. I had a problem trying to get the parents there. And when the parents didn't come to me, I went to the parents. So, and we didn't go for any bawling out each other, but we came to see what the student was doing, how the student was progressing, and what they thought about the progress, and if they wanted something else that their child to have that I was not giving. And I didn't have this problem, and this is what we need to look at. Only thing that I agree with Mr. McCullough is when he said they took prayer out of school. To me, and my opinion is, they took out prayer and put the devil in. Because it's just like when you are feeding a baby. If you take the milk out, you got to give him something else. So when you take out the milk, you give him orange juice. No, orange juice does not do.
Well, you can still pray in school. You don't have to pray out loud. You can still pray, because I don't know how much credit we get for praying out loud.
Yeah, right. But then, if you're a slow learner, you can slow pray, can't you?
They prayed out in Colorado this week.
But it was the golden rules that the teachers was able to teach the children in school. The good golden rules that they could get. Now I'm going to talk about my fashion show.
Well, you better hurry and talk about it. You better hurry and talk about it, because you better get up there with that catfish. Okay.
And someone is ringing my doorbell now because I have to answer it, because he too is coming for some catfish.
Okay.
But I want you to come out on Friday, the 14th of May, to Lady Ruth's fashion show, and it will begin in the afternoon, something like 2 or 2:30. And you're going to see something unusual, and you're talking about seeing some clothes that will fit your pocket, but still yet they're vogue. Come on out on the 14th
Who are some of your models, Mrs. Hunter?
Now, I'm not going to tell you. If you want to know who my models are, you come out there and see them. I will not tell anyone on the air who my models will be.
Well,
because I have some outstanding models, and I have some models that can model, and I have some models that can really fashion clothes. So, Calvin, you come on out there.
Well, I look forward to Soul Bazaar 1999.
And I'll see you there, Calvin.
See you at the Soul Bazaar 99.
You know, we got something
special. The sheriff
will
be there.
Too, Mama.
ACLU, the Miss Black Oklahoma, LJ Tours. A new coffee product will be there. OPO Toure, your representative, will be there. The Community Action Program. Willis Makins from Los Angeles, California. Renee's Oil, Rose State College, Langston University, All State. Creative Hands by Miss Smiley, Angels Beauty Salon, NACP Youth Council. And those of you that want to exhibit, be sure call me. Tell me, let's talk about King Kong.
King Kong will be at the Soul Bazaar 1999. You know, Mom, I'm looking forward to that interview that I know will be coming up pretty soon. Maybe not on today's show, but coming up in the near future, because we will be talking to the original King Konger himself. You know, King Kong will be here on the radio show with us next Saturday, I'm certain. But he also will be on exhibit at the Soul Bazaar 1999 at the Marriott Convention Center. And King Kong is special.
Tell me more about King Kong.
King Kong has two big tires. I mean, tires are so large you wouldn't believe that tires could fit on a vehicle like King Kong. King Kong has so many trophies that accumulated over the past 20 years that it would fill this room, even the control room, a small bedroom. King Kong is special. King Kong has a new trailer that has the latest in computer diagnostic equipment. King Kong is bad. King Kong got a short ratio gear shift, got a brand new type of gear shift that you just touch it, it falls in there.
Who owns
King Kong is tough, Mom.
Who owns it?
King Kong is owned by none other than a young man who back 25 years ago saw something and he enjoyed doing it. He enjoyed seeing it. He enjoyed being a part of none other than Johnny Todd. Todd picked King Kong up.
Okay, just a minute.
I do
have
put King Kong
3
together.
tickets to give away to the Soul Bazaar. For the first one, can tell me who owns King who now?
It's King Kong.
Oh, that's a
King
good thing
Kong's
to tell
tough.
me. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll give you 3
King
tickets.
Kong's beautiful pearl white. decorations all on the
Okay,
side.
but Calvin, you talking about King Kong. I'm going to tell you about that bicycle that Rodney Ford rode from California to Florida will be there. And you don't understand anything about bicycles. Well,
672
anyway, the telephone number is what?
672-1220, and that's here at the KTLV, live and in living color on a beautiful Saturday morning where we're getting ready to go to the Freedom Center and enjoy some of that great catfish, but where we're talking about Soul Bazaar 1999, and especially the exhibit that I know all of you are going to love, and that's King Kong will be at the Soul Bazaar. I'm looking forward to that.
We have a wake-up call in America. We must wake up to our responsibilities as parents, as friends, as church members, what have you. I was talking to an outstanding church member, and he's talking about how bad kids are. I asked him one question. How many kids have you taken to dinner on Sunday? I get a kick out of seeing all of you walk into these cafeterias and everything, and not one kid with you. Suppose we would take a kid that's angry, a kid that feels that nobody loves him. Suppose you walk up to that kid and say, "What?" Don't say, "What can I do for you?" Say, "Come on, I want to take you to dinner tomorrow." And how many of you love kids enough to come up to Freedom Center today and buy a kid a catfish dinner, or say to that kid, "I want to see you go places I've never been and see things that I've never seen"? You know, people, sometimes I think of us as dead people's lovers. For example, people die, you bring cakes and cookies and all of that. And when I die, don't you bring me no cakes and cookies, because I don't want to see Calvin eating my cakes and cookies, and I'm just laying up there. But I want you to come on. Anybody got anything to give it to me while I'm living? Show me.
Well, we got a
and
call
what I
on
want
the,
you
we
to
got
do.
a call on the line now that
okay.
may be a winner.
Clara
I don't know. How
Luper?
you doing this morning? Good morning. Welcome to the
This
Clara
is
Luper
Marilyn
Radio Show.
Hildred. How are you this morning?
Hey, Merlin Hildred this morning. How are you doing?
I'm just absolutely fantastic.
All state insurance?
I'm calling this morning because I'm definitely concerned about the young people in our society. And I want to talk to you just briefly about the AXO competition that will be held during the Soul Bazaar on May 14th and 15th. I am so excited because this week I received applications from some of the schools where black young kids are going in the academic Olympic of the minds to compete in the AXO competition in biology, mathematics, chemistry, physics, and categories that I've been begging young kids to go into. Now, I want to make a special appeal this morning. I want to make a special appeal to your radio listening audience. Those of you that have young people in grades 9 through 12, I need you. I need you to encourage your young people to participate in the academic Olympics of the mind. Deadline for the applications being in is May 4th. There is 26 categories that young people can go in, all the way from music composition, vocal, contemporary vocal classics, poetry, oratory. It's something that your young people can do, but I need your help in encouraging them to get out their constitutions and do it. It's not bad kids. It's bad parents, bad communities, bad churches that we're not reaching out to these young people and bringing them in. It's a reflection upon all of us that our young people are not involved in positive things that can encourage their life.
Okay.
These young people can win nationally. If they win locally, if they can win nationally. They win nationally, they can win $2,000 for first place, $1,500 for second place, $1,000 for third place. Not only that, they have an opportunity to meet young people throughout this country.
Okay,
Well, tell them, Merlin. You
Educationally.
just tell them. And you know, at Monday nights at the Freedom Center, they can come by there, and then they
They
also
can come up today and
come up
sign
today
up.
and sign up.
Sign up your young people. I'm begging you. You have young people that can do things, but it's up to us to encourage them to do it.
Okay,
Don't talk
brother.
about how bad they are.
Marilyn?
Yes.
Your brother has to sing, and we've got to tell people to go to Leo's
Brother have to
Barbecue,
sing.
3631 North Kelly Avenue in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
And while they're going to Leo, stop by also 730 West Britain Road.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know,
Okay,
Merlin forgot to
Calvin,
mention
wait
that they're open today out at Allstate, 730
until
West
12
Britain Road,
o'clock.
till 12
Calvin, we better tell them that this week, Willie Germany and Betty Germany lost their father in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Educate Germany services will be announced later, and we would like to extend our sympathy to the Germany family. And I understand that today is Willie's birthday, and they are going to celebrate. All of his children are coming home for his birthday from Kansas and from Texas and Oklahoma City. Calvin,
And his
I would like to
grandkids. They
tell all of you,
tell us, Mama.
I would like to thank you all for staying out of trouble. Leave those guns at home. Do what my grandmother, who couldn't hardly read and write, told us to raise our black hands and say, with these hands, I will never hurt anyone. Calvin,
I'm
please
ready,
sing
Mom.
your
I'm
birthday
ready. This
song.
is a birthday song that goes out to a very good friend, a very dear cousin, very handsome gentleman, Willie Germany. Happy birthday. I know this is a birthday you've really been looking forward to because I've been looking forward to it too. Mama, hurry now. You can't rush greatness. You don't rush to cook. You know, take your time. Miss Still is taking care of pies and cooking that catfish. You don't rush me. You don't know how hard it is to get this song down right.
Okay, well, sing
There's
it.
somebody else
Sing
I
the
want to
song.
sing happy
Sing it.
birthday
Okay.
to too. My goodness gracious. And happy birthday celebration goes out, song goes out to you too, Eunice Russell. This is a very special birthday to you too. So Willie, you need to sit back, relax. I know you're listening and you're going to enjoy this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Willie. Happy birthday, Eunice. And may you have many, many more.
Calvin, I was disappointed this week, and if I were talking to Hannah Atkins, it would be the same. There were 7 blacks that were recognized as shakers of the 20th century, and I didn't receive calls from my friends, and that's really interesting. I sure thought they would call and say congratulations. I only had 4 friends to call me to congratulate me, and yet when I die, these friends will be around talking about our resolve. Well, you resolve to come up and buy some catfish.
Let's resolve to make this community
and
better.
Calvin, one thing about it, I am happy to have been a shaker for the 20th century.
Mom, I'm
and
happy
if
to
you
know
don't
that
have
you're the
last
shaker.
Sunday's paper, you go get it. You see, I'm a shaker.
Shaker Clara
Congratulations,
Luper.
Hannah
Congratulations.
Atkins. Congratulations to all. There were only 3 women that was that was Ada Lorcipia, Hannah Atkins, and Clara Luper. And I'm so proud of all of them. Clara Luper saying goodbye. I'll see you at Catfish Station.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Clara Luper Show. Join Sister Clara Luper here each and every Saturday from 9 until 10 at your #1 gospel station, KTLV. And until next Saturday, may God bless you.